The Jedi Order, rightfully, didn't place nearly as much emphasis on strength as the Sith did, and were, by and large, greatly accepting of individual differences. However, when it came to strength in the Force, they could only be so tolerant. Some Force sensitives had a naturally strong connection to the Force, while in others, sensitivity was a barely noticeable whisper. Most Jedi initiates who had little Force skill were sent off to the Service Corps or politely encouraged to leave the Order, as we discussed in an earlier video. But some of them did end up being Padawans. In this video, we're going to be talking about one such Padawan who may well have been the Jedi Order's weakest member in terms of Force sensitivity.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
The Jedi in question was named Talisabeth Enwandung-Esterhazy, but for the sake of sanity, we're henceforth going to be referring to her by her nickname, Scout. She was born in 34 BBY on Vorzid 5, a vast hive of scum and villainy nicknamed the Gambler's World. Her parents were quite poor, and when a Jedi recruiter visiting the world noticed that Scout was Force sensitive, they begged the Jedi to take her to Coruscant for training in the hopes that the Jedi Order would give her a better life. She began training at the Jedi Temple during the last years of the Republic. Scout was tenacious and very motivated as a Jedi initiate, but she nonetheless proved to have a weak connection to the Force. Her instructors doubted that she would be selected as a Padawan or that she would be able to pass the trials of knighthood. It seemed to them that she was destined for the Service Corps, but Scout wasn't completely lacking in Force talent. The Force granted her mild precognitive abilities and a knack for analyzing situations, which was how she got her nickname. But this alone wasn't enough for a Jedi, and Scout knew it. Thus, to compensate for her weak Force sensitivity, she focused on improving her physical skills. During the Separatist Crisis, to the surprise of the instructors at the Jedi Academy, Scout was chosen as a Padawan by Jedi Master Chankar Kim. Many of Kim's fellow masters, including Mace Windu, questioned her choice, at a loss for what she saw in the girl, but Scout was nonetheless allowed to become a Padawan and a full member of the Jedi Order. Scout quickly bonded with her new master, but their relationship soon ended in tragedy. Kim was one of over 200 Jedi that accompanied Mace Windu to Geonosis at the start of the Clone Wars, and she was one of the Jedi that was killed in the Petranaki arena. Scout spent the next few months at the Jedi Temple, mourning her master's death and awaiting reassignment. The Council of Reassignment didn't quite know what to do with her. She had already been made a Padawan after all, but her poor skill with the Force meant that no master wanted her as an apprentice. Some on the council, such as Master Jai Maruk, wanted to send her to the Agricultural Corps, as he believed should have been done in the first place. But he was met with opposition from others on the council, most notably Grand Master Yoda. Yoda believed that there had been a reason that Kim had chosen Scout as her Padawan, and he wanted the Order to give her another chance. He believed that there was more to Scout than met the eye, and that she was more skilled than many Jedi gave her credit for. To settle the debate, Yoda and Maruk made a bet. Yoda bet that Scout would win the upcoming Jedi Temple Apprentice tournament, while Maruk bet against her. Scout's fate was the wager. If Maruk won the bet, she would be sent off to the Agri-Corps, while if Yoda won the bet, Maruk would take her on as a Padawan. When the day of the tournament came, Scout shocked the assembled Jedi by using unorthodox physical techniques instead of Force skills and managing to come out on top because of it. She ultimately won the tournament and Yoda won the bet. Reluctantly, Jai Maruk took Scout on as a Padawan. In time, Maruk came to appreciate his new apprentice's resourcefulness and honor. Despite her low Force sensitivity and the self-doubt it resulted in, Scout rarely gave up and she became good at finding creative solutions to problems. To compensate for her weakness in the Force, she had honed her physical skills and her skills with a lightsaber, making her a surprisingly effective fighter. Under Maruk's tutelage, she was given the rank of Jedi Commander in the Grand Army of the Republic, and her resourcefulness and determination won her the respect of the clones under her command. Scout didn't participate much in the Clone Wars. Generally, she spent much of her time as a Padawan training back on the temple on Coruscant, but she was sent out on a mission in one notable instance. Near the end of 22 BBY, Count Dooku sent a message to Yoda indicating that he was having second thoughts about the dark side and requesting that the old Jedi Master come to his fortress on Vajun to discuss his possible return to the Jedi Order. Obviously, this was a trap, but Yoda was determined to go regardless. If there was any chance that the offer was genuine, he believed, it was his duty to his former friend to hear him out. Yoda wasn't keen to go unprepared, however. He selected 2 Jedi Masters, Jai Maruk and Max Team, to go with him, and it was decided that their Padawans would come as well. Scout was paired up with Team's Padawan, Wee Malro, for the mission, who she got to know on the way to Vajun. Malru had actually been born on Vajun. In fact, Dooku's fortress on the planet was actually his family's estate, Chateau Malru. He was also extremely gifted with the Force, in stark contrast to Scout. En route to the rendezvous, the Jedi made a quick stop at Findar Spaceport. There, they were ambushed by Asajj Ventress, who had come with a team of A-series assassin droids. While Scout and Malru held off the droids, Maruk and Team engaged Dooku's assassin in a lightsaber duel. Despite being masters and outnumbering Ventress 2-1, they ultimately couldn't match the Queen of Ratatak in lightsaber skill. Ventress struck both of them down before being driven off by Yoda. After promising Scout that he would never leave her, Maruk died, leaving the Padawan masterless for the second time that year. Scout was distraught, but she, Malru, and Yoda pressed on to Vajun nonetheless. There, Yoda left the Padawans with their ship while he met with Dooku, opting to spring the trap alone. While they waited, Malru felt a disturbance in the Force and the 2 Padawans decided to investigate. The disturbance turned out to be Asajj Ventress. The Sith assassin easily captured Scout and Malru and decided that she wanted to toy with them a little before finishing them off. After taking her prisoners to a secure location, Ventress held Scout in a Force grip, trying to draw Malru into falling to the dark side. Malru, it turned out, had feelings for Scout, which he had previously kept to himself. Ventress sensed this and taunted the boy, telling him to kiss Scout while she was restrained. But Malru resisted. He knew that what he wanted was against the Jedi Code and refused to do so as Ventress said. Ventress was enraged, and she ordered her assassin droids to kill both Padawans. However, the pair were saved by the timely arrival of Solis, a droid footman dedicated to the Malro family. Recognizing Malru as his master, Solis distracted Ventress long enough for Scout and Malru to escape. Shortly afterwards, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker arrived to rescue Yoda and the 2 Padawans, and all 5 Jedi made it back to Coruscant safely. As far as we know, Scout set out the rest of the Clone Wars. Whether or not that was the case, she was in the Jedi Temple when Order 66 came down, and Darth Vader led the 501st Legion in a march on the temple. Miraculously, Scout managed to escape Operation Nightfall by fleeing through the temple's maintenance tunnels, becoming one of less than 200 Jedi to survive Order 66. Malru was not so lucky. He was struck down by Vader in the Room of 1,000 Fountains. After all this, Scout made her way to Mandalore, where she hid out with Clan Scarada and a bunch of other Clone Wars veterans. At the beginning of this video, we asserted that Scout was perhaps the weakest Jedi in the history of the Order, and on paper, that's definitely true. Her skill with the Force was nothing worth writing home about, for certain, but as Master Yoda saw, this weakness didn't equate to worthlessness. Unlike the Sith, the Jedi saw the value in ordinary skill and creativity, and they understood that power wasn't everything. Compare the story of Scout to the story of Darth Gravid, which we told this week. The Sith's weakest member was a colossal failure that nearly destroyed his own order. The Jedi's weakest member proved to be valuable to the Order in her own way. So that's the story of Scout, the weakest member of the Jedi Order. But what do you think? Are there other obscure Jedi you'd like us to tell the stories of? Feel free to post your thoughts in the comments below. And just before that Star Wars algorithm sucks you deeper and deeper, I propose a bit of a change, a bit of a shake-up through our new channel called The Braved. We go through all different eras of history to find some of the most badass individuals from these eras. Very high quality videos, and we post once a week, so make sure you check that out. And if you just want to vibe to some beats, check out our Relax Jack music channel, where we've got some awesome music and some awesome visual effects that I think you'll all love. And if you want to join our behind the scenes Discord, where you can chat to myself and the other team members who work on this channel, as well as access to some exclusive content, then consider donating to our Patreon. And if you just want to join the wider community, check us out on our GGN and our Geetsly's main Discord server. Anyways guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.